Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Wholesale Hotline. About a few months ago, we decided that we wanted to get back into doing a warm-up show. And the warm-up show is meant to highlight people in the industry who have started out basically in the last 5 years or less, highlight what they've done to get to where they currently are, and then basically give them an opportunity to work with our community. So Ricky Morgan, a friend of mine, lives here in Arizona, is our special guest today on Wholesale Hotline warm-up show. And what we're going to talk about today is, who is Ricky? Why the hell should you listen to Ricky? Why do you care about him being on as a guest for Wholesale Hotline warm-up show? We're going to jump into what they are doing in their business. He's probably one of the most unique investors that I've met in the last couple of years, meaning where does he live and where he invests, I feel like is the exact opposite of what I see a lot of people doing. And I want to jump into that today, give you guys some insight on what they're doing, who he's partnered with, and what they're focusing on. We're then going to jump into what is Ricky and his partner's main goal for 2021? What are they looking for? What are they trying to do more of? And then finally, we're going to talk about a deal he just recently did using the Batch Driven app. So without further ado, Ricky Morgan, thank you for coming to Wholesale Hotline warm-up show. Tell everybody where they can reach out to you. Where can they find you? What's the best place to reach out to you if somebody has a question?
Yeah, what up, Pace?
What up,
good to be on the show. You can reach me on Instagram. That's probably the best one. And that's going to be at realestatericky_. And
guys,
then,
I'm gonna put his Instagram name on the screen for anybody that's watching. Please reach out to realestatericky_ on Instagram to reach out to Ricky. I know you guys are going to want to reach out to him after the show. So Ricky, tell us more about, let's talk about who are you and why should I listen to you?
Yeah, totally. So I'm Ricky Morgan. I started real estate about a year and a half ago, and I was working a corporate job. I had a 9-to-5, was making, over $100,000 a year with a guy in his 20s, single. It was definitely a comfortable lifestyle, but I started attending Real Estate Disruptors, shout out Steve Trang, and started going to meetups at your location over at Batch, and just started doing, realized it was possible to do deals and kind of escape that rat race and get into real estate full time. So
that's super interesting. So you were running a corporate job. You were in a corporate job for a while. You're in your 20s. You're making over $100,000 a year.
Right.
You know that real estate is the way to go, but you didn't know exactly how to get into it. How did you even figure out who Steve Trang was? Was it YouTube? How did you find these meetups?
Yeah, so I think it started like a lot of other people, just getting into self-development, reading books. All of a sudden, I'm reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Next thing I know, I want to own a bunch of rentals, kind of live that passive income life. And I actually bought my first rental then in late 2018. And that's when I first connected with my partner in New Jersey, and I bought a rental there while I still had my corporate job. And then I realized, I just bought it with like 20% down, and I realized doing real estate that way it was cool. It was good rental, it was good experience, but I would have needed 20 or 30 or 50 of those to really retire. And at the rate I was going, just buying them traditionally, it wasn't gonna, I would have been at my corporate job for another 20, 30 years before I could retire. So
right.
I realized I needed to kind of change my game plan and, start doing real estate a little differently.
So how did you find Real Estate Disruptors? By the way, anybody that doesn't know, we have about 100 people watching live right now. Guys, we are a little bit early for Wholesale Hotline because normally we start at 5. Today we start at 4:30 because we are doing a warm-up show with Ricky Morgan for everybody that's just jumping in. This is Ricky Morgan, lives in Arizona. We're going to jump into what his business model is, how him and I know each other. But right now we're talking about how he ventured into real estate in the first place. Ricky, you start jumping into self-development.
Yeah.
How did you even find out what Real Estate Disruptors was, which is, for everybody that doesn't know, is a local real estate meetup here in Phoenix, Arizona that is ran by Steve Trang.
Yeah. So super blessed, I think, just to be in the Phoenix market in general, around so many people actually doing it. I think like reading books and listening to podcasts is one thing, but then actually going to meetups and talking to people and seeing like the actual deals they're doing makes it more real. So I just went on to YouTube and I was like, how do I escape my job, make good money, have my own business, and like kind of all roads were leading to one of few things, like maybe, stock trading, real estate, crypto. And I just thought real estate was the best asset to kind of get into. So, went on YouTube, and then I found Real Estate Disruptors podcast. I found Brent Daniels podcast at the time, Cody Sperber, a lot of the Phoenix guys, which is kind of funny because then I eventually, went to their meetups and I've met a lot of those guys. But that was kind of where it first started, and just dove headfirst into YouTube and just started learning that way. And then, finally decided to start taking action and, start actually doing deals.
Love it. So here we are a year and a half later. You are investing in a very unique part of the country, in my personal opinion, because I feel like most people in the part of the country you invest in, they live there, but they invest virtually somewhere else. So tell everybody your business model and who you linked up with, and what are you up to today?
Yeah. So about a little over a year ago, I linked up with my business partner now, Steve Kipnis, and we actually played college golf together. And then I moved out to Phoenix, and it was kind of like law of attraction, where I was just getting into the self-development, learning about real estate. And he just randomly texted me like, hey, do you know much about Phoenix real estate? Because he's living in New Jersey where I grew up. And, I wasn't even into real estate. I haven't talked to him in about a year or two. And he just heard that Phoenix real estate was hot. So I was like, yeah, like I know a little bit about it. I'm just getting into it. I was like, are you in real estate? And he's like, yeah, I have like 20 rentals. And I was like, damn, dude, like last year, like you weren't even in real estate. And so he was burning all these properties in Trenton, New Jersey, built up a nice rental portfolio. So, what he struggled with though is finding deals. He's super good with numbers. He's great at rehabbing and construction and getting loans, but no sales skills, no marketing skills. So that's kind of where we kind of partnered up, and it was really good because, he had all this construction and he did all these deals himself, but what he lacked was he wasn't good at finding deals. He wasn't good at talking to people. He wasn't good at picking up the phone and, getting hung up on all day and that type of stuff, which is what I was doing when I worked at my corporate job at Yelp. Which was just calling business owners who would just yell at you all day about their bad reviews on Yelp. So I got pretty good at, getting a backbone for just hopping on the phone.
I love that.
Pretty good, man. It's a good partnership for sure.
That's great. So you guys link up. So you live here in Arizona, but you're investing in New Jersey.
Yeah. So 2020, this is our first full year. And I was just actually, before I hopped on, was looking through kind of all of our deals. And yeah, this year, we did most of our deals in New Jersey. We had like a middle of the road section where we did like an assignment in Ohio. We bought one in Boron, California for like $6,000 and sold it for $20,000. We did one in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Nice.
So we did 3 out of state, and then we did 12 deals in New Jersey so far this year. It's been a combination of quick double closes. So we would just close on it in private money and not touch it and resell it. We've done 4 retail flips, and then the rest were assignments. So kind of a little mixed bag of everything. But for the year, we're at 15 deals for $610K revenue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you joking me? 15 guys, check this out. Ricky is doing 15 deals this year with a total of over $600,000 freaking dollars. Are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah, average deal size is about 40,000. So,
oh my gosh,
money in New Jersey because
guys, give this guy some freaking love. We've got 150 people watching between multiple streams. Are you freaking kidding me? $600,000+ on 15 deals.
Yeah. It's, like a lot of the double closes, I mean, just like the double close numbers were like 76, 42, 25, 20, 16. Our average flip in Jersey is about 85 when we get it direct to seller. So something about New Jersey that a lot of people complain about is it is hard to find deals. There's not as many deals as in a place like Phoenix. The difference, though, is when you do find one, there's less competition. There's less wholesalers and flippers in these sellers' ears. So you can get them at a deeper, a deeper discount. So it might be a little harder to find them, but I know like the way me and Steve operate is we'd rather do 15 deals a year and, maximize profit on all those and do 15 a month, scrambling for 2 to 5K assignment deals.
Bro, I absolutely love that. Your people are blowing up the chat just talking about how awesome that is. How freaking cool is that? So my company, just to put that into comparison, guys, check this out. Our company will do roughly 20 transactions a month. And what do I mean by transactions? That means I'm buying some fix and flips. I'm buying some buy and hold subject to seller finance. And then we do probably 12 to 13 wholesale deals every single month. Okay. Antonio, we're going to jump into actually how Ricky found one of his most recent deals. That's actually why Ricky's on the show. So hold on just a second. We're going to tell you exactly how he found this one particular deal virtually.
Yep.
But if I do 12 to 13 deals in the Arizona and Florida markets, our typical revenue on that from just assignment fee standpoint is somewhere in the 160 to 170 range. So I've got to do the same amount of deals to do a quarter of the profit that Ricky has done. And in a perfect world, like I would much rather go the route that Ricky's gone, where you do 15, maybe 20 deals a year and generate $600,000-$700,000 in revenue than I would, building a big team and having to do 20 deals every single month. Right.
Dude, that's the way I feel about it too, is we're super lean. It's like me, my business partner, Steve, I kind of do acquisitions. He does dispo. And then we have one virtual assistant who just helps us out with stuff. But like, that's literally our team, so we're small.
Guys, we have 180 people watching live right now. Look at my screen. Ricky, Real Estate Ricky _ Ricky is a personal friend of mine. He has been in the game less than 2 years. He generated $600,000 in income this year between him and his partner on 15 deals. If you are not following this man on Instagram, I'm telling you, the first thing I'm going to do is get him some good lighting. I already told him we're going to hook him up.
Yeah.
We're going to get him a little studio going. You guys need to be following him because he's going to be, I'm trying to break his leg to force himself to do more and more content because people need to know what he's doing. Bro, 600,000. Maurice Grant is one of my students. He says, bro, who is this guy? Because we need to go grab lunch one day. Fantastic. Maurice, he's in Jersey. So when people tell me, so Maurice lives in Jersey, New York area. Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of students that are in New York, New Jersey feel like it's impossible to invest in New York and New Jersey. Let's talk about that before we jump into the deal that you did and how you used batch driven to get a virtual deal.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the New Jersey market. Is it possible to build a successful business there? And if so, what are the actual challenges that you guys have gone through?
Yeah. I mean, I would say absolutely. We tried, we've done marketing in the Phoenix market. We've gone virtual. We keep going back to New Jersey just for the spreads, and we just know the market. Like I said, I'm really lucky to have Steve as my business partner, who really knows how to walk a property and know if it's a good house, a good parcel to buy. But after doing it virtually in other places too, I think you can be successful anywhere. It's super cool when I golf with everyone in town, you, Tim, Burr, and you guys are all crushing it in the Phoenix market. And then I'm doing my stuff virtual. And so I think it doesn't really matter what market you're in, but I do think the challenges in New Jersey compared to a big market like Phoenix is you have to do a lot more marketing just to find a few deals. Like I said, we would like to do about 25 flips a year. And that's one of our things we're trying to do over this next year is just kind of increase our volume a little bit. So I think when I hear people in New Jersey saying they can't find deals, they're probably not doing enough marketing or they're not being consistent enough on a day-to-day basis. Our marketing goes out, 365 days a year. We do about 5 different forms of marketing. We do cold calling. We have 6 full-time cold callers. We send about 3,000 RVMs each and every day to people in New Jersey. We have one of our VAs a couple hours a day. He drives for dollars virtually on batch driven. Super cool. And then we also do some like SEO and PPC. So we do a lot of marketing all the time. And I just think you have to do that. And then eventually the right situation comes up with a seller, and you have to capitalize on those when those opportunities come up.
So guys, unfortunately, we don't have a ton of time with Ricky. He is a personal friend of mine. We played golf together the other day, and I was like, bro, I need my audience to know you. I need my students to know you, because you'd be a killer, great asset for them in New Jersey, New York area. Definitely. And I think honestly, the community in New Jersey, it's not that it's a bad community. I just feel like it's nowhere near where it should be. And what I mean by that is look at in comparison to Phoenix. Like,
right, totally.
Ricky, you've been to both locations. What's the difference between Phoenix and New Jersey in terms of community?
I think in New Jersey, it's very much more cutthroat. So I think everyone is worried about people stealing their deals. They're not getting the correct coaching either. I just see investors out here. I just think maybe because, we have so many great coaches around in the Phoenix area, they're getting the proper training and, getting deals at the right price. See a lot of people in New Jersey, they're struggling contracting prices at the same numbers. Because if you think about it, Pace, like you run your numbers for a flip in Phoenix, right? You are okay making a lot less money than we are on our flip in New Jersey. So I think some people don't realize that. They move into a new market, and in New Jersey, you have to buy deeper. They're calculating Phoenix rehab off of their, buy number, and people are getting they're not able to find buyers then. I also think that New Jersey doesn't have as many full-time investors, guys like us who can walk a property one time and close the deal. So I think too, anyone in the kind of central South Jersey area, like we're buying in cash or hard money, and we need to see the property once, hard deposit. We don't care about your assignment fees. Like, dude, Pace, in Jersey, like if you have over 10,000 on an assignment fee, people are like getting mad,
Wow.
Like no one, it's not like Phoenix where everyone wants to, see each other win and send deals and stuff. So we could definitely use more of that for sure.
Well, bro, like here's the thing is I feel like would you guys want to see Ricky on Sunday Service, my podcast? That's a much longer form. I only have Ricky for another 10 minutes before Wholesale Hotline starts. Would you guys want to see Ricky come back next Sunday to specifically talk about the New Jersey market and what he's doing up in that area? I have a ton of people. Last night we had like close to 400 people watching live. And I would say a good, 100 of those people are in the Northeast area. Yeah. I think bringing you back for a longer form, like an hour and a half conversation, because I see a bunch of questions in here specific to that area. Yeah, would you guys want to see that? I'm already seeing absolutely. Yes, please. Yes. I know my students in the Jersey area would absolutely love that. So guys, number one, follow Ricky Morgan. It's real estate Ricky _ on Instagram. Follow him, DM him, take a screenshot and tag him right now.
We just started a TikTok too at wholesaling real estate. So real easy. TikTok at wholesaling real estate. So
okay, cool.
Got to get on for the younger crowd. I see you just hopped on TikTok too.
Yeah, I skipped on it for like a year and I shouldn't have.
Same, dude. But
bro, we buy 10% of our deals from my Instagram. Like literally 10% or more of my deals come from my Instagram. So it's like people ask, why am I so active on Instagram? Because I get tons of deals.
That's what I learned from you. I was just going through our 15. All of them were paid marketing. Not one referral, not one JV, not one from a wholesaler. So definitely 2021, one of the goals is to, work with other wholesalers, kind of work with the community, kind of like you're talking about, and social media, try to get some more deals, get people the assignment deals and get us some more flips in Jersey.
Yes. So we've got 8 more minutes. Let's get to the task at hand. We were golfing and you told me you got a deal from Batch Driven, virtually driving for dollars. Tell us about what that experience was like. Are you happy with Batch Driven? How much money are you guys going to make? Give me a whole breakdown of that whole scenario.
Yeah, totally. So we love the idea. We were actually kind of experimenting doing it before the app. And then when I heard you guys were coming out with the app, it just made so much sense to actually use the platform. So we have our virtual assistant, Adrian. He's been with us for over a year. 4 hours a day, he goes on the app and we just give him cities to drive around in. And we pretty much gave him, at first, he would send us a couple photos of houses that he thought were distressed. And then we gave him some feedback to find a good middle ground of what we were looking for. So he spends about 4 hours a day doing that. We pay him $3.50 an hour. So pretty good bang for our buck there. And I think he's found us over 4,000 homes driving around virtually in the past few months. And one deal he came across, it was 1303 Arena Drive in Trenton, New Jersey. Technically it's Hamilton. But if you looked on like even Google Maps, you would see why he added it. The garage was all messed up. The roof looked old. It had a trailer in it. So that was kind of the reasons why he added it. So what we did was we added it to the system, and then we got the phone number. We skip traced the owner. We called the owner Ed, super cool guy. It was his second house, and he was keeping it kind of as a hoarder house, which in New Jersey, where the taxes are like $8,000 a year for these little properties,
Wow.
it's not a very good house if you're not going to be, living in it and you're just keeping your stuff there. So he had to sell. He just wanted to sell it as is, though. It's a family house. I think he was, not quite comfortable with everyone seeing the condition and how messy it was. So we picked that deal up for $118,500, 45K rehab, 22K in soft costs, holding costs, closing costs, realtor fees, things like that. So net profit, we have it in escrow right now for $275. So we should make $89,500.
Wait, hold on. You're going to make $89,500 on a deal your virtual assistant drove for dollars using batch driven virtually. They got the lead generated for you. You called Ed, got the deal locked up. You guys fixed and flipped it. You're going to make $89,500.
Yep. It's in escrow. It should close end of the year. So
$89,500.
Yep.
Your total cost on that deal, I'm going to calculate your total cost, including like cost of the lead, your subscription to batch driven, your virtual assistant was combined total amount of money you put into getting that lead was probably less than $1,000 for sure, right?
Yeah, totally. So
that is insane because think about like direct mail. The average cost for a direct mail contract is like $6,000 or $7,000 in marketing per contract. Your contract on that deal was under $1,000. That's insane.
Yeah. To put things in perspective, like we've been running PPC ads in Jersey, $3-4 grand a month all year. We've gotten 0 deals from PPC, and
wow.
And we did this for a few months. Spent way less money, obviously, than the PPC cost, and got a deal out of it. So I think it's just you got to get creative and put in that extra work, and I think that's what the app really does. Is it puts in that you got to be putting in the work and really finding those houses. You can't just buy a list of this. So I think that's kind of the cool
Ricky,
part.
I've got a couple people saying they've got deals in Jersey they want to DM you. So Fearless and Limitless Lifestyle says, bro, I have a deal locked up in Trenton right now. I'm about to DM you.
Let's go.
Make sure you guys follow him. We've got 190 people watching right now live.
Yeah, we're buying in cash, 3 or 4 flips or properties every single month in Jersey. Got to see the property one time. We'll help you out. So yeah,
guys, Ricky and his partner will help you underwrite deals. They'll help you. I've sent Lenny, one of my students, over to Ricky that lives in Jersey, and behind the scenes, you guys are working on a potential deal right now, right?
Right now, yeah. I was just looking down at my phone and texting Lenny about a deal we have up north in Jersey City. It was family house. The dude's ready. Paige, you'll love this one. I was just talking to him earlier, and I was like, if the price works and the terms work, ideally, how soon would you want this thing to be sold? And he goes, yesterday.
Yes. Bro, you're almost making me want to move to New Jersey and start doing some deals out there. My gosh.
Just assign them to me, bro. Like Cody's killing your guys' marketing. So if you could get us a couple more deals, we'd be happy to pay you guys some assignment fees.
Guys, follow Ricky on Instagram. Look at his Instagram name on the screen right now. Real Estate Ricky _. Also, their TikTok is at Wholesaling Real Estate. Is that right?
Yeah.
So follow these boys, Ricky and his partner out of Jersey. tons of people watching right now are from Jersey. And
Love
I
it.
want you guys to all take a screenshot, get Ricky and tag him on Instagram and work with this guy because he is an actual cash buyer. He's not just a wholesaler. Ricky and his partner are actually fixing and flipping in Jersey. So get this guy in your Rolodex. Get this guy as one of your cash buyers. Also, his partner is boots on the ground in Jersey. So if you guys need help, maybe estimating construction costs, bro, maybe you guys should create a meetup out there in Jersey. You probably could create a whole new community just all around Jersey investors.
Yeah, if I lived there, Pace, I probably would. That's the issue. My partner, he just doesn't like seeing people. He's a behind the scenes guy. You know, he likes to just be crunching numbers all day. But I definitely want to kind of get that community going. So if you and Jamil ever get that meetup in Jersey when it's not locked down, maybe I'll have to fly out for it too. And maybe we could check out one of our projects or something.
Bro, we would love that. Unfortunately, with the COVID stuff, we were planning on being out there a couple of weeks ago. Hey, for everybody that's showing up, I want you guys to let everybody know who's on the screen. We're over 200 live viewers right now. Today, we have a very special guest coming on in about 3 to 4 minutes. We've got Brent Daniels and Jamil Damji. You're going to be here in just a few minutes. So I'm going to wrap up with Ricky Morgan. But what you've just watched is the Wholesale Hotline warm-up show. Ricky Morgan just walked through how he got a deal using batch driven. He's making $89,500 by using a virtual assistant driving for dollars virtually. And if you guys aren't following Ricky, he's been in this business for less than 2 years. And what we just talked about is he's done 15 deals this year, generating over $600,000. Ricky, say hello to Jamil Damji.
What up, Jamil?
How you doing, Ricky?
Yeah, man. How are you?
And I'm going to get Brent Daniels on here real quick. We're just going to say hi real quick before we bring in our other guest for the day.
Woo!
Brent Daniels, guys, check this out. Ricky Morgan did 15 deals this year, generated $600,000 in revenue on 15 deals, and out of Jersey.
What?
Ring that bell, bro. Ring the bell. Ricky lives here in Phoenix. He virtually fix and flips and wholesales in Jersey. Doesn't that sound backwards to you?
I love it. I love
It's
where
so great.
He's obviously doing it right, man. He's obviously doing it right.
Doing it right. Ricky, it was great having you on the show. We are going to start Wholesale Hotline. I will catch up with you. What I want to do is I want to get you on Sunday service so we can do a longer form Q&A for everybody in Jersey that has questions about how you're getting your deals done.
Sounds good, Pace. Just hit me up.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Congratulations.
Ricky.
Thanks, Brent. I'll see you guys around town.
Did you guys start the show without me? What's going on here?
This is the Wholesale Hotline warm-up show, my brother.
I love it.
We've got our special guest behind the scenes. Ricky, have a great day, brother. We are going to start Wholesale Hotline right now.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Have a good day. So, guys, who wants to introduce this guest right before we do our little intro? Who do we got on the show today, Jamil?
Well, one of my most favorite guys in the entire business. He is the founder of the Super Human Wholesaler Facebook community, which Pace and I had the pleasure of meeting a bunch of their members in person in San Antonio a couple of weeks back. This man's name is Earon Bevans.
Earon Bevans. Guys, let's do our Wholesale Hotline intro. What I want to do is when we come back, we're going to have Earon Bevans in the studio on the screen with us, and we are going to let Brent Daniels start off the show.
And by the way, Aaron's coming with a touch of class like he always does. Turtleneck, blazer, all pro, baby. Let's get this thing going.
So good. Guys, we will see you in just a second.
Here we go. Wholesale hotline number 40. Number 40. Do you guys realize that is 3,600 minutes of nonstop wholesaling action, wholesaling questions and answers, insights, digging deep, personal thoughts, business philosophies, experience, and it all boils down to episode number 40, where we just start rolling out on 3,601 minutes. I want to bring the millipreneur. How are you, brother?
I am doing amazing, man. This is crazy exciting to be on here with you guys. I'm super excited, man.
Well, listen, we spent a lot of time together early this year, right before the shutdown, doing the most incredible Closers Olympics.
Yeah.
It was, by a lot of people's standards, the best real estate event, the most gritty, at least, by far, the most gritty real estate wholesaling event that has been put on, that was virtual, is absolutely incredible, kind of ahead of its time with the whole virtual world going this way. But you really headed that up. You really ran that, and you have an incredible group with the Superhumans. So I'm your TTP family. You are just an incredible professional. You're putting out a lot of content. You're showing people. You're training people, and you're showing it. The content is fantastic. I mean, you're really opening up your business, your life, your office to everybody out there, and saying, "Hey, listen, you can do this. You can do this too." And I love that about you. And I'm really happy that you're here to answer a bunch of questions tonight.
Man, I am crazy. I'm crazy excited, man. First of all, this is an honor. This is an honor to be on a show with freaking Jamil Damji, Pace Morby, and Brent Daniels. Like you guys for our generation, you guys are our heroes, man. So like for me, you got to understand the level of butterfly itch in my stomach right now is like it's next level. I'm hyped though.
Let's go.
Yo, look at the comment on the screen. # we really do this. I think I want to start my first question with you is, what is that all about? I think I can piece it together, but it seems like it's coming from your camp. What is that # all about?
So the # we really do this. We laugh about this in the Superhuman campaign amongst the community, Butterfly Edge. We laugh about this because whenever I love good energy. I love being around good energy people. I love high energy people and environments. I don't like negativity, as you know, we all say that. With that said, though, I think I accomplish the biggest things whenever I get pissed off. And you know, I got jaded for a while in the industry because a lot of people that I did look up to and who helped me and things like that, you know, you learn things, and you come to find out that there are a lot of people who really are not doing this business, and so that phrase really came out of just being jaded and seeing so many people that were teaching things that they themselves weren't doing, and I didn't want to perpetuate that. I wanted to be a part of something different, and it is if I talk about it, then I either do it myself or have already accomplished it myself. So and then it stuck in the campaign, and it became something that we all say, right? Like # we really do this. This is something that you know, if we talk about it, then we actually are about it.
Love it. That actually is an important concept to talk about, and it's one that I think the three of us have danced around because we don't want to hurt people's feelings. But let's bring it up. Authenticity.
Yep.
Authenticity in this business, right?
Yes.
Especially from a coach's point of view, I can say that you know, I didn't start a coach. I came out of this a wholesaler. I've always been a wholesaler. I still wholesale houses. That's my main business. That's my main source of revenue and income. It's the company we've built, Keegley. It's known that we are the real deal. But I've seen that there's a lot of there's a lot of phoniness out there, and you know, even in the space of creative finance, you know, when I got to see what Pace has done all this time. And from the folks that I've seen out in the world that were, teaching creative finance, I started to look behind the curtain and I saw the entire Wizard of Oz situation playing out, where it's a guy who's really not doing what he says he's doing. He's not really as powerful as he wanted people to believe.
Yeah.
And then, that's why I've resonated so well with these two individuals, Pace and Brent, because they're the real deal. And I think why you are as successful as you are, Earon, is because what you're doing is you're reintroducing the concept of authenticity to this business. And I applaud you for it. I think it's amazing.
I love it, man. When I saw the hashtag, it resonated with me. Not to self-promote, but I have a show on my YouTube channel called The Real Deal. And it's an episode every single week talking about an actual deal. I am at the property. I give the address out and I say, look this house up. I don't care if you know which houses I own. This is a house I own, all utilizing creative finance. And I think it's super, super important for people to have the authenticity. If you're teaching somebody, you better have done it, right? So I know Brent Daniels doesn't knock doors today, right? He's scaled past that. But I know Brent Daniels knocked 10,000 plus doors when he first started in this business, right? So if you're going to talk about something and you're going to educate somebody and not force them, but you're going to inspire people to make life-changing decisions in their world, whether it's quitting their job, etc., you better be authentic. Because if you are giving bad information, guys, this is one of the reasons why Earon is on our show today, because of everything he stands for, the energy he creates, the community he builds is all about authenticity and truly doing this business. The good, the bad, and the ugly is highlighted in their events and what they talk about. And bro, I couldn't be more excited to have you on the show today.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Well,
we got guys, a lot of superhumans in the chat, by the way.
A lot of superhumans.
I love it.
Listen, Earon is obsessed with this business. Earon is obsessed with this business. This is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. This is where you're coming up, you're building that momentum, you're building that business, you're doing deals, you've had 6-figure months, you're doing this, you're creating a community. It's partly selfish to build a community. And I get it, trust me, because it pushes you. It pushes you to actually do this business, like really, really go and like be under the microscope and really understand what is your background, or is this person legit? Am I listening to somebody that has really good actual advice from actual experience? And it pushes you. I encourage everybody to do it. I really do, Earon. I encourage everybody to start groups and to push themselves and to really get into like a mode. Like, look at your office, dude. Look at your office. It's like so much there is all about being a better professional, being a better business person, being a better wholesaler, being a better, you know what I mean? And you surround yourself and you start grabbing people and you start growing your own company and you start building the community. It's fantastic, but it pushes you. It pushes you. But this is a person that's obsessed. This is a person that has a lot of value to give. And I love it. And I'm fairly certain he wears this exact outfit to bed. I don't think he takes it off. I don't think he takes it off.
Yeah, not to bed, man. Not to bed. Almost though, almost. But you know what though? When I started building the community in my mind first, and in fact, I always keep this here with me. I have it right here in my little drawer right here because I never want to forget. I started building the community in 2019. Yep. I get really excited about this because it's right here. It's like all frayed and you know got all my stuff in it. But when I started building it, I have all the notes right here that I wrote out, and I have a whole page that I wrote out specifically saying what I would be willing to sacrifice to build a community of this magnitude.
Earon, would you read those things? Would you read a couple of those things that you would have sacrificed? Because I think it's important to share with people just what it looked like before the superhumans, before the community existed, when this was an idea. Share with us and our and the audience that tuned in what some of those sacrifices were, if you would.
Yep, I have it right here. So one of them says, "I will not watch TV this year."
Wow.
Did
Wow.
you do that? Did you cut TV out for an entire year, Earon?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep,
Wow.
absolutely, absolutely. Another thing, I wrote down notes here. I wanted it to be colossal. I wanted it to be massive, and I have these notes riddled all the way through. Now, not to turn anybody off, but whatever. If I do, then I'm sorry. But I even wrote down the approach that I must take in order to breed the community that I wanted. I put here, I had to have the approach of Christ. I wrote down, I have to have the approach of Christ. And what I meant by that is not that I was trying to start like some religion or a cult or anything like that. But the idea was, instead, like the beautiful thing about all of my heroes, whether it's Martin Luther King, Christ, or Nipsey Hussle, these guys, they did not go to the heavies. Like Christ did not go to the Sadducees and the Pharisees and say, "Please help me to proclaim the good news." He went to the common people and said, "Hey guys, together we can cause, we can affect change." Right? And he was willing to go to the downtrodden and those that needed help and work with them. And he had to sacrifice everything in order to do it. And I literally wrote down here that I had to be willing to sacrifice even my own income during this year to build a community. And you're right, there is a selfishness, and I share this with the community too. There was selfishness behind it. My objective was to create a community where I could make money with the people, not necessarily off the people.
Yep.
And again, it came from being jaded and kind of pissed off. I had spent a whole lot of money on a whole lot of mentorship, and one of the best ones I ever did was TTP. I'm not being paid to say that, but the reason why I say that is because as soon as I got the TTP course, the first person I talked to was Brent Daniels. I said, "That's freaking cool."
Yeah.
That was so cool to me to get on the phone with like the Brent Daniels and him just give me a 30 minutes of his time breaking down what to expect. I was like, dude, I want to do stuff like that. I want to be with the people where the people are. And so that's what I wrote down as a sacrifice. Here's another sacrifice that I wrote. Check this out. I put, in order to do something this big, I have to be ready for all of the heat that's gonna come my way. And I don't know why I wrote that, but but that's what I wrote down. I'm ready for all the heat that will come my way for doing something this big. And boy, has there been a lot of heat, for creating this community from multiple different levels and people. But yeah, I have a whole paragraph of these sacrifices that I was willing to write down in order to build this thing.
Beautiful.
What an interesting topic that we've never talked about before, Earon. I appreciate you bringing that information. What's your goal with this community over, let's say, the next 24, 36 months? Where do you see it going?
In the next 36 months, we're going to be a tangibly national brand. And what I mean by that is, we've been a national brand from the jump. Because from the jump, we had about 12 to 15 states represented in the campaign. Now we're sitting at about 25 states represented. But I say it's kind of intangible because it's been a community that's built over Zoom. November 14th, Jamil and Pace, y'all coming to the event. That was the first time we were all under one roof at one time. And it was only
by the way, that was a great event.
Thank y'all for making it what it was. So many people said they got their breakthrough from y'all being on stage, and you crying like a baby on stage. Pace made that freaking event, man. It made that event. I'm telling you. And I had
Guys,
my
don't
breakthrough.
listen to Earon. I never cried one time.
and by the way, I had my breakthrough. While Jamil was on stage, when he had us imagine our gratitude as a ball of light. But I want it to be tangibly national brand in the sense of we're going to be opening up superhuman RIAs in every state. And there will be multiple superhuman RIAs, and there's already leaders in the superhuman campaign who are already volunteering to put on these, and then we're going to meet at the same time every single month, on the same day every single month, once a month. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start traveling to all these different RIAs and supporting and buoying them up. And here's the selfish side. The selfish side is if you're around a whole bunch of crazy entrepreneurs doing this business just as obsessed as you are, then it's like being in one of those little telephone booths where all the money's flying around and you have glue on your hand and you got to just grab. It's just like, I just need to touch as many deals as possible. And the cool thing is I get to do this and nobody calls me a douchebag for getting rich because I'm giving away stuff for free. And I love my superhumans, and I tell them, look, if you're in the superhuman campaign, be a leader. Because if you're somebody who's actually doing this business, hashtag we really do this, and you're leading a group of people and you're serving them for free, they want to do deals with you. So it's like, it's no wonder our company is doing so many deals, because I'm around a bunch of crazy entrepreneurs who trust me and I trust them. And it's like, hey, Earon, I have this deal. Hey, Earon, I have this deal. And it's like, okay, cool. And it's like, as many that my hands can touch, I pass it on to my acquisitions team, and we're all getting paid together. By the way, here's all of the notes. So if you notice, I was looking for it, but it says like massive, immense, colossal.
Yeah.
I even wrote down why I wanted it to be so big. And I mentioned here, I want to be able to make money with my people in my community and not off of them. It's right here. And all of these, and on both of these pages, it looks like the subway in Harlem. It's so marked up. All of these are notes that I wrote out before I started building the community. And if I could read this whole thing to you, it's almost prophecy, dude. Like I even wrote down what the culture would be like. Look, I'll read it to you. It says culture. It would be a culture of family, loyalty, where people are eager to help one another and celebrate other people's wins. A culture of transparency that is humbly competitive, that keeps each other accountable, right? And then look what I wrote. Look, I'm gonna see if I can zoom in there. Look what I even circled it. It would be a group of leaders. A group of leaders, and they would be loud and proud, but humble. And it's like, dude, it's weird. Like as you look at the community, it's like all of these things have come true that were written, and this was written in 2019, getting ready to launch in 2020. It was a cool thing. It's been a cool thing.
Earon, I want to say that everything you said just now was true except one thing.
What's that?
Almost. The word almost. Everything you said was real except the word, because brother, it has become prophecy. It is real. I saw it. I witnessed it with my own eyes. I saw what that community is. I saw what you guys have as a group have created. All the words that you just read out of your journal, which remind me of the passions of a high school student, right?
Yeah.
When you look at that journal, and I think back to, looking in the notebook of a person in high school, their diary and all their passions and their desires, and the way that it's so unbridled, the way that it is so it's lacking structure, but in lacking that structure, it's so beautiful. It is the pureness of us, right? It is what it really is.
Yep.
It's what we were before we were told to write essays.
Let me ask you this, Earon, real quick.
Yeah.
Just from this community, from being putting this together, from building this in San Antonio, how does that affect your business? Are you joint venturing? Are people bringing you deals because they need help selling it? Is this something where you're doing like you're becoming the guy. Like Jamil's the guy, right? Are you becoming the guy because you have authority in your market because you give so much and you're showing so much and you're loving so much? I mean, how many? Real quick before we, because I know you'll go.
I know.
How much percentage-wise of your business comes from referrals?
30%, 35, almost.
By the way, that's just the start. I am telling you, this is the change. This is the biggest thing. Build a community, build a podcast, build a YouTube channel, build a community, build a meetup. Do these things. That is the next step in the evolution. I am telling you, you become the guy like this guy. People will bring you deals. And just like you said, make money with people, not off of it. That's Jamil. That's tattooed on Jamil's ass. He's got that on. Show him, Jamil.
I've seen it. Every time I travel with Jamil, I see the tattoo.
But
right?
You know what's funny,
every
Brent?
deal Jamil does, somebody else is getting paid. Almost.
You know what's crazy, Brent, is this right here is what I tell the superhumans in the campaign. Be a leader in the campaign, right? Be somebody that's serving people and giving. They're creating their own little communities within the community. And what's happening is people are sending them deals. Mm-hmm. And so we say it's this weird universal the law of compensation, right? That now these other leaders in the campaign are serving for free, giving for free. They're pulling Pace Morbys. These guys are like doing 4 5-hour webinars, helping people out in the campaign. But then guess what's happening? People are sending them deals. And so we have this little saying amongst the leaders that we don't get paid a salary in the Superhuman campaign, but boy, do we get freaking commissions. We get commissions. And it's a pretty exciting thing, man. It's selfishly unselfish. More selfish than anything though.
It seems like the topic of this conversation so far is about building community. When we were at Aaron's event, there was a day before everybody else showed up. Aaron had a private mastermind the night before, and Aaron's up on stage. He's talking, and I had to stand up because I said, guys, do you want to know the first 2 steps to jumping into real estate? And I want everybody in the chat. We've got a little under 400 people watching live right now. I told Aaron's group, the first 2 steps of getting into real estate and being successful in real estate are, number 1, join a community, which Aaron, going back to the conversation in the beginning, joined at TTP's community.
Yep.
Then step number 2 is bring value to that community. And in doing so, what ultimately happens is you create your own voice, you create your own world, you become a leader. And then you can go and create your own community, which is what Aaron did. Guys, this is the model. And if you pay attention, if you watch The Mandalorian, Aaron hasn't seen The Mandalorian because he doesn't watch TV. But they say on The Mandalorian, they say, this is the way. Okay, and this is the model that TTP, think about it. I joined TTP. I then watched the community that Brent Daniels created. I then found my voice by bringing value and doing deals with other TTPers. I then went out and created my own community, and that's building thousands of people. Look at Aaron, joins TTP, gets a phone call from Brent Daniels, says, that inspired me. I need to create a community on my own. Guys, this is the way. It gives me chills to watch you build this community, Aaron, and do it with so much fervor and passion. It gets me pumped up.
Heck yeah, man.
Amazing. By the way, this Outcast mural is super dope. I want to tell this. Can I tell you guys a story of this mural real quick before we go on?
Please.
So Outcast, everybody knows, one of the greatest super groups of all time. Best rap duo, in my personal opinion, still to this day. And Jamil and I traveled to Atlanta. Loved it. We went and we went down to the 5 what is that called? 5 Corners, I think it's what it's called, or I can't remember what it's called, but there's this famous Outcast mural that is very similar to this. What's it called?
Little 5 Points.
Little 5 Points. There you go. I'm so sorry. So we go down there, and I'm on a trip with Jamil, which in my opinion, my relationship with Jamil reminds me of the relationship of Big Boy and Andre 3000. And the reason being is because you guys can kind of fill in the blanks there. But what I love about Outcast, the mural, and everything I felt about it is that I realized that in order to be the greatest person in the greatest situation, you have to have somebody that fills in your blanks, your missing pieces, etc. And for me, that was Jamil. And instead of me being, I'm Andre 3000, and at least in my mind, I'm Andre 3000. Instead of me trying to be Big Boy, which is like classic, ultimate, like godfather of rap, which in my world, Jamil is the godfather of wholesale. Instead of me trying to be Jamil, I had to learn to walk in my purpose to bring value that Jamil needed in his life so that Jamil could be allowed to bring value that I needed from Jamil coming into my life. And so the dynamic of Outcast was so ultra important to me. And then also from a sales standpoint, what is sales? Sales is telling stories to your customer and to your prospects. And Outcast is so absolutely good at this that they actually have songs named The Art of Storytelling 1 and The Art of Storytelling number 2. So if you understand sales and what we're trying to convey here, it all comes down to the art of storytelling. And when I hear Jamil, how much value did Jamil bring to your group the other day, Earon?
Oh, bro,
Telling
we were all in
stories like
tears.
nobody else could. So you guys are going to continue to see this Outcast painting behind me for a long time because it motivates me. It reminds me of who I am. It reminds me of the things that I need, and it allows me to walk in my purpose. And I hope you guys get inspired by it as well, to find the people in your world that bring the missing pieces to you. How do you find those people? You join a community.
Yeah.
You go join a community. One thing I want to bring up, Earon, are there people in Superhumans, just to highlight this point, are there people in your community that came in maybe like a Dario, right? Who's incredibly dynamic at certain things that maybe he needed somebody else in your community that he might not have been good at? Are there pairings or people squatting up in your community that needed each other that they didn't have access to before the community?
Oh, 100%. But 100%. So here's one story that we just had, and it was told to me just last night on yesterday's Sunday night accountability. It was it is one of our superhumans out of Chicago and one of our superhumans out of Baltimore. Okay, huge shout out because they know who they are. And they're both relatively new in the Superhuman campaign. It's Gabby is in Chicago, and then my man Angelo is in Baltimore, and they're both new in the campaign. Squatted up. They Angelo already had these leads in his database. All right, yeah, there's Angelo right there. There it is, right there, and they're about to. The deal is already closed. They're just waiting on it to fund. But this deal was already in Angelo's database. He really.
I think you need to ring it, Brent. I think you need to ring the deal, bro.
Yeah. I love it.
Well done.
Now here's the thing. These leads were already in Angelo's database. It was something about Gabby's energy. They squatted up. He sent her over these leads. She calls, as soon as she calls this particular lead, they contracted the deal, I want to say the next day, and that was about a week ago, 2 weeks ago or something like that. And they're funding $12,500 together. You know what I mean? And it's exactly what you're talking, and this happens over and over and over and over again. Here's another one. Michael Lane, Jerry Pearson. Shout out to them. Hopefully they're tuning in. Michael Lane, Jerry Pearson. These guys, new to this, new to wholesaling. Okay, they've been in the campaign less than 10 months, y'all. Less than 10 months, right? They come together, they become business partners. HUDs to back it up. Over $310,000 in less than 10 months. I want to say it's actually 6 or 7 months, about 7 or 8 months.
Those two gentlemen came on the stage, right? Those were the good gentlemen that came on the stage.
They were on the stage. That's right. Yeah, we gave him the Superhuman of the Year award for generating the most gross profit out of everybody in the shortest amount of time.
Wow.
But it happens over and over and over and over again in the campaign.
Amazing. What would you guys all say? Like Brent, Jamil, Earon, what would you guys say to the people that are in the chat watching live right now, and also the people who listen on the podcast, right? Because we're on iTunes, we're on Spotify as well. What would you say to everybody that's listening, saying, I want to get into this business, but I don't know my first steps and I don't know anybody. I'm an island. What would be your action that you would tell them to go take?
Well, I'll start. I would take the example that Earon showed us today in real life, right? He began in concept. He began in thought, and he began writing down his goals, writing down what he had as a vision for what it looked like for him. And then he sat off and started constructing it. Do you think Earon had any idea when he sat down and he put his dreams out on that piece of paper of what this would look like a year later? No, he didn't know what it was going to look like. He knew it was going to happen. He knew it was going to be great. He knew he was going to put his all into it, but he was detached from the result because at the same time, that he may have faced some obstacles that could have derailed him, right? Or maybe sent him down another path. The fact is that he didn't know what it was going to look like, but today, yet he sits here because he had a goal, because he decided he wanted, and his intentions are important. I want to highlight those. If you pay attention to the things that he was writing, intention is just all over those pages. Right? His intentions are all over those pages, and they're coming from a very good place. He's coming from a place of expansion, from a place of impact, from a place of love. And with that, he put one step out in front of the other and has created an amazing community. And so I'd say follow the example. Follow that example.
What are your thoughts, CTP?
So just kind of pulling that question apart, or what we're talking about, as you're starting out, you got to build momentum and you got to build confidence. And it starts by being in action. Like nothing's going to happen for Earon if he's just the mouthpiece and he's not doing anything and he's not doing deals and he's not, going through the cold calling and the lead follow-up and the door knocking and the other, and building a team and building an environment and posting things all the time. Nothing happens unless action is going on. So you got to take action. Right? We all know, if you've watched the show, that there's ugly houses on the street. Go get the contact info for them. Pick up the phone, ask them if they consider an offer. You do that enough times, you're going to get deals. Or if you want to go the way that Jamil has built the biggest wholesaling business in the world is, I'm going to start saying Galaxy and all sorts of stuff, Jamil. Don't worry. I got it in the back pocket. Don't worry. But honestly, you can start talking to people, matching them up and matching buyers and sellers and doing that. But you have to be in action. That's what's going to build your confidence. But as you were talking, Pace, and as we're talking, Earon, what came to my mind was, at some point, once you have the success, once you're building the momentum, you have to start thinking about building your personal board of directors, right? Like for real, like it sounds like a real fancy term, but really, who are the main people that you want to go to for advice in building your business? Who are the main people that have experience? Who are the main people that aren't going to compete with you and feel jealous of you and try to tear you down and make their buildings bigger, but that are really going to ride around and really help and rally with you and be your cheerleader and be your supporter, but also kick you in the ass, also hold you accountable? Who are your personal board of directors? Who are those people that are going to be around there? That's what that whole saying, you are the 5 people you spend the most time with. Absolutely. But I think that there's a lot of different versions of ourselves. There's being a dad, there's being a husband, there's being a business person, there's being a friend, there's being a cousin or nephew, whatever it is, son, daughter, whatever it is. But in business, who are your personal board of directors? Who are the people that you want to find? Well, Brent, I don't know how to do that. Well, guess what? The beautiful thing is, if you build a community where you're providing a ton of value, these people will find you. They will find you, and you're going to connect. And you're going to connect because you're out there and you're hustling and you're working and you're being successful and you're supporting. You understand what these people are going through, and you have that bond. And that's the bond that you're looking for. The people that are really going to push you and really like take you to the next level that you want professionally are your personal board of directors. Find them by building a community, building a ton of value in that community, and seeing who is going to be there and rise to those positions. And it's beautiful. That's that I think
TTP, that honestly, it's funny. I know Aaron's the guest, but I gotta highlight something real quick. Brent Daniels went live today just to give thanks. Just to give thanks. And Jamil and I travel around the country a lot, so we get a lot of time to talk. I would say the most genuine person in this entire business, hands down, has been Brent Daniels for me in my coming up. The most genuine, truly helpful person. Everybody else, not everybody else, I can count on two hands the people who have encouraged me and celebrated my wins, and number one person has been Brent Daniels. He has invited me behind the curtains. He has shown me the truth. And every time I win, the dude calls me and congratulates me. I have never had that experience in my life with anybody. So, bro, what's so ironic is that you had a live today all about giving thanks to this community, and it should be the other way around. Think about what you've done for me. Think about what you've done for Earon. Think about what you continually do for the whole TTTP family. I know when Jamil was coming up in this business, talking about getting loud and showing him the way was a big, big part of Jamil's coming up. Bro, thank you for being on my board of directors.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I mean, it's incredible. You guys push me every day. You guys know that. You guys came on the show today. So thank you for that. So I love this business. I love the people that really, really want to be great at it, that really want to push it and really want to share once they're great at it. There's those times where we're learning, and then there's those times that we're hustling, and then there's the times that you're teaching. And, we're fortunate, all of us here are in a mode that we're teaching, and we're still hustling to some degree, but we're in a very fortunate place, and I feel very blessed all the time.
Jamil during his, and I yelled it out. I didn't have a voice after the event, by the way, of all the yelling that took place. But when Jamil was on the stage, I yelled out because he was talking about his journey and how Brent, he gave you a shout out, and how you told him, look, you're being irresponsible by not sharing your success and these things that you're doing with the world. There are people who, you're the biggest wholesaler in the country. People need to, and I yelled out, that sounds like something Brent Daniels would. And I said that because I don't know if you remember this, Brent.
I said it to you.
You said it. You told me that, and you said, and I quote, you said, Earon, if you do not start a YouTube channel and you don't start monetizing some of these things, he said that you said the next time I see you, you said, I'm breaking your neck. I said, okay, yes, sir. but I mean, and I was just telling somebody in my community that, dude, that touched me so much because you didn't stand to gain anything from that conversation other than to see me win. That meant a lot to me, man. Like I was just having this conversation, telling that story to somebody about you, Brent. I had no idea I'd be sharing that right now, but I was telling them that I feel a responsibility to do that same thing and pour into people the same way that you did to me when I was new in the TTP community. So I mean, huge shout out to you for that. I had to share my little Brent Daniels story too, because that's real, man.
We need some questions to take it off of me. All right, we need some good questions so that we can give some value here, because that's what I'm pumped about. I've been going all day, guys. I mean, I love this. I'm more fired up today. You guys go live.
While we're waiting for the questions, I have to say that the three of you all are making my setup look very, very Mickey Mouse. I mean, look, Brent's got a neon TTP sign. Pace is in front of is in front of one of the most prolific paintings I've seen ever. And his setup, his microphone is beautiful. Earon, you look like just one of the busiest, most organized, and amazing people in your setup. It's really, I just want to be in your. I just want to work in your office. You make me feel like I just want to get to work. And
here's my favorite part about the office.
I've got a plant and a fake football award.
No. Here's the favorite thing about my office. I don't know if y'all can see it. Dude, this fires me all the way up when I come into my office. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's the Jordan and Kobe posters next to my acquisition guys stuff, man. I mean, every time I walk in, and then the threat level midnight poster, it just puts me in. I'm in a happy mood anytime I come into the office, man.
Yeah, I got to step it up. All right, guys, we're waiting for some questions.
Let me ask you, Earon, because I think it's really important to kind of expand on this. You said that make money with people, not off people, was the goal that you wrote in that thing.
Yep.
Are you talking referrals? Are you talking joint ventures? Are you talking just putting them in the right position? Are you talking about not like doing events where you speak for $97 and then you hit them up for like 10 grand at the back of the room? Like that could mean a lot. It can mean a lot. So I'm just, what does that mean? And because I truly believe if you're giving value, your income equals to the amount of value you provide. Right? Truly does. But that can come in a lot of different ways. That can come in from coaching and mentoring. That can come in from products. That can come in from joint venturing on deals. That can come in from affiliates. That can come in from a ton of different things. So what does that mean in the world of superhumans?
What it means in the world of superhumans is we generate a lot of our income off of affiliates, because we actually utilize and run our entire business off of the affiliates that we encourage. Yep. So that's a large thing. But then also JVs. And it's not to say I will never charge for mentorship in the future. I may. In fact, I wrote it down as something that I want. But the idea behind that is it's more the spirit. It's more the spirit, and that is we will always serve first.
Got it.
We will always serve first. That way, when I think of making money off of people, I'm not even talking about not charging for mentorship. I think of off of people like I think of the big bad capitalist wolf. Not that I love capitalism. I believe capitalism is the answer to everything. But I think of the big bad capitalist wolf who is like making all of this money and just this juggernaut, and then everybody is famished and he's walking on the backs of people. Like that's what I think of making money off of people, like almost raping people. When I think of making money with people, it's providing a service, and it's making people's lives better. It's creating something where people are benefiting from. So that's kind of my mindset. But the reality is I make a crap ton of money off of affiliates, and people know that, right? I get paid when people use the super code for batch. I get paid off of this affiliate stuff, and I get paid very, very well. But we do it unapologetically because it's like, dude, we were encouraging people to use this stuff from before I even found out about affiliate stuff. You know what I mean? Yep. So that's kind of the mindset of it. It's that spirit of servitude first, the attitude of servitude first, and then allowing the law of compensation by whatever means we choose to reimburse us for that.
Love it.
Yep.
Awesome. We got some questions. Actually, we got a whole bunch in the chat, so let's get cracking. First one here from Tony. Interested to hear your answers, guys. I don't know if any of us deviate, but I'll start. So Keegly is Podio based. It's one we've built ourselves and we've integrated into our other systems that we use. What about you guys?
We built one called bombcrm.com. It's Podio based. And anybody that uses Bomb CRM knows that we have a full-time developer that will update things for you. Podio is really proven to be one of those challenging things where people go, if I could just do this, or I could just add this, or I could do whatever. So we use Bomb CRM. We couldn't find somebody that would actually edit their Podio based CRMs for us. And so we created one and we hired a full-time developer that helps our clients. So Bomb CRM is one that we actually own. It's Podio based, bombcrm.com.
Cool.
Cool.
How about you, Earon?
We use the Hercules CRM from the All In Entrepreneurs. And I'll be honest. Whenever Carlos recommended that we utilize it, at first I was like, sure, I got your mentorship and I'm supposed to use your software, whatever. But whenever we started doing research into it, and I don't have an affiliate with them, but it was built by them, and I liked the way their operation looked whenever they explained it to me, and I was like, I'm okay scaling, utilizing what they're using, and I mean, it tracks all of the metrics that we need in our wholesaling operation. We're constantly trying to push the envelope with higher amounts of volume, and this is a CRM that can facilitate the automated processes that we need, and all those things in order, because we all know the fortune is in, we say in the Superhuman campaign that this came from, what's his name, Perry, he's a realtor. He said,
Nick
we
Perry.
no longer, what's his name? Something Perry.
I know his name. I know who you're talking about.
Awesome guy, man, just incredible content. And he says, we no longer say that the fortune's in the follow-up. He said the fortune is in the tech-enabled, scheduled, relentless follow-up. So if you don't have an automated system that is following up for you, you cannot compete in today's marketplace. And so that's why I like Hercules. I mean, it's everything that we need in order to do 6 figures plus a month.
Tony,
Check this out. Luis is bringing up something that I think Brent was about to bring up.
I'm about to
I
go
want to
there.
hear about this. What is it about?
I'm about to go there. This is how I did my first $1 million right here. Accordion folder. This is your CRM. Tony, the real question is, if you have a team, obviously you can't work off this, but you can. The problem with CRMs are people love messing around with CRMs. Look at this. Here's the other one. January through December, baby. You pull the leads out, you put them in your monthly one, and you are rocking and rolling. Honestly, the first $1 million, that's how I did it.
Can I say something? Can I say something, Brent?
Yes.
Our first $500,000 was on pen and paper as well.
Yep.
And I'm only. I have to qualify it. I have to qualify this. I'm only using Hercules because I can spend time as a CEO going in and finagling and building out processes and facilitating all of these things and then enforcing these things. But I gotta force my guys to utilize this because there is benefit in it. I wouldn't touch for the first 2 years in business, I would not touch the CRM I'm using with a 30-foot pole. With a 30-foot pole, I would not touch this CRM. That's just me. Hopefully, I'm not making anybody mad by saying that, but that is my truth. I just got to throw that out there.
Honestly, it's just you can get lost in it. And I want you out there providing value. I want you out there building your pipeline. I want you out there getting on appointments. I want you out there signing contracts. I want you out there building relationships with cash buyers. I want you out there talking to hard money lenders. I want you out there talking to title and escrow officers and probate attorneys and real estate attorneys and doing that instead. What you do is, I'm doing work today because I'm tinkering around in my CRM. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Let somebody else run it, right? I mean, if you have that mind, I get it, but let somebody else run the CRM once you hire them. Then they're going to set it up perfectly anyway to keep everybody accountable. So I think you have somebody else set it up. You go out there, you be the rainmaker by getting as many opportunities as possible.
Here's a good question for everybody to answer, kind of like a fire round. See if we can give everybody a 1-minute answer, starting with Earon. Earon, Riza says, how would you allocate $2,000 for starting a new wholesaler business? Off the top of the dome, what would be your first answer?
$2,000 for a new wholesaler. I'll do exactly what I did, and I only had $5,000, and that is go go driving for dollars and don't use hardly any of it because you don't need it. Batch driven now allows you to take just a few $100s and you can make that $2,000 stretch and go driving for dollars and start hand dialing those leads and start talking to people. That's what I personally did. So I got to give you the advice that I did.
I love that answer. For everybody that didn't watch the warm-up show, we actually had a warm-up show with a wholesaler named Ricky Morgan, and he has a very interesting way of investing. He lives in Arizona, and he invests and does fix and flip and wholesale in Jersey, which is what I feel like is the opposite. Most people in Jersey are virtually wholesaling outside of the state. But Ricky just got a deal. I wrote it down. I was so impressed. The total cost was less than $1,000. He hired a virtual assistant to drive for dollars for him virtually on batch driven. They made $89,500 virtually wholesaling for less than $1,000. So I'm going to put my stamp of approval on that answer. Guys, go back and watch the Wholesale Hotline warm-up show. Ricky Morgan detailed out how he did that. Batchdriven.com, I feel like, is the best way to start.
I would do very, very close to what Earon is saying. I would take that $2,000 and I would use it for living expenses. I would use it to make sure that I had the time available so that I could spend all day doing lead generation. I wouldn't pay somebody to do lead generation for me. I wouldn't pay anybody. I wouldn't buy anything. I wouldn't go and I would do it myself. And who would I call? What leads would I be going after? I'd be doing the astro flipping model. I'd be trying to connect with other wholesalers. I'd be looking to use my superpower of understanding value so that I could help other people know what price they needed to get their deal locked up at. I would communicate with real estate agents who had pocket listings or potentially new listings that were coming to market that I could maybe grab before they got listed on the MLS. I would do all of that before I would spend a dime of that $2,000 because I think that we are too quick to spend money to try to avert the hard work. And in the end of the day, guys, it's the work that's going to get you paid.
I love that. Brent, on your side of things, I know you talk about how just in your local neighborhood, how many ugly houses there are. And you've broken this down multiple times about going out. And I don't know if what it was is you add advice for people, go find the ugliest 100 houses. Is that what the advice was? I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, well, I don't have ugly houses in my neighborhood, but I'm sure there's ugly houses in other neighborhoods. But I mean, no, honestly,
small flex.
Listen, in our community, there's just a lot of there's a lot of ugly houses. You can go find those. I say the $2,000. Jamil hit it perfectly. It gives you a runway. It gives you a runway to be able to commit to this business. Now, the problem is you get a runway. You're so programmed from elementary school and preschool and high school to just sit in a row and do what you're supposed to do that when you're free, when you have free time and people aren't telling you, make your calls, do your calls, go get these deals, go find opportunities, people don't do anything. They get too trapped in their head. You need to break out of that mental jail that we all have been kind of programmed to sit in, which is like be told what to do and go do it. We have to break out of that. We got to go. We got to be self-starters. We got to go out there. We got to be almost, like obsessed, almost desperate to find opportunities out there. Not desperate in the sense of like weird and gross, but desperate in the sense that like it's exciting and electric. And go out there and find opportunities out there and then make the calls, knock on the doors, go out there. I mean, just try it out, start out, get some small wins, just get the momentum going. And that $2,000 will give you a runway because that first week, you're going to feel weird. The first 10 days, you're going to feel weird. The first 15 days, you're going to feel weird. It's going to take some time to break out of those mental jail that we're at because we've been programmed for somebody to tell us what to do. Okay, so break out of that. Take your time with it, give it enough runway, and go out there and really find some opportunities.
Couple of things. So I think this is a great follow-up question because Michelle Williams says, what about 10 to 15K to start? I want to jump into this real quick, but Earon, you talked about having breakthroughs, right? A lot at your event. And Brent, you just talked about when you get started, you're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel like a fish out of water. Guys, you have to have breakthroughs in this business. And the first 30, 60, 90 days, there's terminology you don't understand. There's, you know, apps and stuff like that you don't even know how to navigate. You shouldn't go out and spend $10,000, $15,000 just throwing it out at advertising. Guys, you have to start from ground zero. You have to start from ground zero. It's one of the reasons why astro flipping is so absolutely successful. It's one of the reasons why Brent Daniels' TTP program is so successful, is because it teaches you to go talk to people, not to go spend a bunch of money. And so my take, and I think we go around the circle here and do a follow-up question here. My take is, if you have $2,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 and you have not done a deal yet, I would say don't change anything from my original answer. What about you guys? Earon.
So you know, it's funny. I actually have to I have to correct myself on how I was going to answer this, because I was going to answer this from the standpoint of, if I lost everything and I didn't have an office and didn't have anything, but then you gave me 15,000, and if you gave me 15,000, I would personally go get my cold callers. I have a whole little mini army of cold callers, and I would have them funnel a crap ton of leads to me every single day. And then I would be on the phones closing driving for dollars, and then doing the driving for dollars while I'm following up on all of these leads. And I can guarantee you, I could in the next 6 months, I could be at 6 figures a month again. But I didn't think about the standpoint of okay, if you've never done a deal before, that would be catastrophic. And I need to be careful, because people ask me this question and I think I've been answering it the wrong way. If you have not done a deal before, you should absolutely not drop $10,000 to $15,000 in your business. That's the easiest way to lose $10,000 to $15,000. You know, you should definitely start by putting in the sweat equity and utilizing the majority of those funds to live off of, so that you're kind of not stress free. You still have that urgency, but where you can live and focus on doing the work necessary in order to build up your momentum. So I'm glad that we're having this conversation, because I think this is going to benefit other people, a lot of people listening too.
Jamil, would your answer change if you had $10,000 or $15,000? Somehow Jamil got muted. Jamil, you muted yourself.
Sorry, my dogs were barking, so I muted myself. Sorry about that. I don't think my answer changes, honestly. What I can say is that what I've noticed we do a lot of times is we pay for what we're not passionate about.
Yep.
Okay. And so nobody ever had to pay me to get on the phone and start doing lead generation. No one ever paid me. No one told me what to do. You know, it wasn't that. It was no one. I did it. I did it because I'm passionate about this business, because I'm passionate about what the opportunities are and about actually looking at homes and seeing homes get repositioned. I'm passionate about real estate in general. I love the way houses look. I can stare at a neighborhood and just get lost in the differences of one block. I can get lost on a block looking at all the different houses and what the planners or what the builders were thinking when they were putting this beside this and why is this street the size it is. And, you know, like I love this stuff. And so what I think happens is in business, and I've seen so many small businesses fail because of this, is that we go and we pay for what we're not passionate about. If you have to pay people to cold call for you, you're not passionate about it. You're not, because you don't want to do it, right? Because you're not passionate enough about this. Get passionate about something. When you see all these small businesses failing, all of these guys that are like, well, my pizza shop failed. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you love pizza? No. I just wanted to start a business, and holy crap, man. So you went and mortgaged your whole house to start a business about something you're not even passionate about?
Yep.
Figure out what you're passionate about first, and then worry about what you're spending money on.
Yep.
Love that. Brent, give us some feedback.
I
As
love it. No,
a
I think these guys put it perfectly. I thought that Earon had a really good point. You know, we kind of put ourselves in the perspective of if we had an extra 10 or 15 right now, what would we do with it? But until you've got the ball rolling, I mean, you need to get that sweat equity. You know what I mean? You need to get that experience. And by the way, I would never want to stop people from getting it. I wouldn't want to, go and solve all their problems every time that somebody had a problem or they're going to getting over something. That's that struggle and getting past it and reflecting on it. That's progress. Struggle plus reflection equals progress, right? I mean, that's what it is. That's the whole thing. So I want people to get a little nitty gritty. I don't care if you have $1 million in the bank. If you're like, you know what, I want to do wholesaling and I want to find opportunities and I want to be really great at this and I don't want to blow a bunch of money because I have it. I want to actually do this thing. Then, I mean, that's the way to do it. The way to do it is get out there, work hard, get the deals coming in, go through the pain, go through the struggle, reflect on it, become stronger, become faster, become sharper, become more angular, and rock and roll.
I've got some. So Path to Paradise says they would join a mentorship if they had 10 to 15K. I want to touch on based on a comment that I made to somebody the other day on Sunday Service, which is my creative finance podcast on Sundays. They said, why would I join a mentorship or any mentorship when I can find everything online? And I said, it's not that you can't find the answers. It's that when I went to go figure out due on sale clause, what an RMLO's job is, how to underwrite creative finance, how to fund and raise private capital, all the things that I'm good at now, it took me years to get the right answer because I was guessing going back to what Earon brought up at the very beginning, we really do this. Do you guys know how hard it is to figure out when you're brand new in this business, who's real and who's a clown?
Yes. Yep.
It is so hard. And so when you join a mentorship, the job of a mentorship is to take your learning curve down 10 times faster than what it took me. If it took me 6 years to learn what I know today, it's my job to get you that information in less than 6 months. That's what a mentorship does. And then it comes with a strong community of people that are like-minded and also investing in themselves. Yep. So I do believe that a mentorship is a great way to go. But still, that's an individual decision for people to make. But I freaking love all those answers. Those are so good. We've got a lot of questions up in here. You guys want to keep hammering out some questions?
I'm ready, man. I could keep going.
Right. Let's keep it going. So, Jared Frankham says our contract rate is down 2% from Mojo and lead output is lower as well. There's a lot of guys talking in here about lead generation. And one of the questions I saw pop up that I think Jared is referencing is we're deep into Q4, guys, right? We're 80%. The year is over, right? Thanksgiving is this week. And in real estate from Thanksgiving till 5th of January, things slow down. It's when Jamil goes to Aspen. It's when people go, to Hawaii and go do all the things and everybody takes time off. The question is, do I go hard in the paint the last part of this year, or do I do mostly follow up with my existing leads and try and build momentum going into Q1?
Good question.
Earon, what are your thoughts right off the top of your head?
Q4 is when we get rich in my company. We don't take days off in Q4. And I tell the team, if you want, you can have these days off because I know that this is when most people take these days off. But historically, this is when we get rich in my company. So I've never seen it. I can look at the data, like we can pull the metrics and we can look at how Q4 things slow down in our market on the MLS and all that the San Antonio Board of Realtors, they provide all these metrics, but that just is not what happens in my company. Q4 is when we make the most amount of money. And so our mantra, and I have it written on my board, on my big old freaking whiteboard, it says the game is either won or lost in fourth quarter. You cannot win in first quarter. You cannot win in second or third quarter. You can only win or lose in fourth quarter. And I don't like losing. So I've just never seen it in my business where we don't slow down in this time. And I think it's because I know that so many people slow down during this time, and I'm just so freaking hungry, man, and so is my team, and we just want to capitalize on all the leads that nobody in our community is going to be following up on during this time. So they've been following up first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, then they stop in fourth quarter, and we're going even harder, and so that's when we end up closing and funding all of our whales, the highest amounts of volume, and we crush it the heaviest during fourth quarter. So yeah, that's all we know.
Jamil, what's your thoughts on fourth quarter versus slowing down and ramping up in January?
Well, it's interesting what Aaron's saying there, and he's saying that he makes a ton of his money, or he's doing better in the fourth quarter, and that's where you win. I agree there, and I think this is what you're going to find in this quarter, right? You find that there's holidays. You find that there's people. You're going to work twice as hard. But here's what's going to happen. You're going to work twice as hard, and you are going to remain consistent because most people are working half as hard, right? Most people are working half as hard while you're going twice as hard, meaning you're going to retain your consistency through the year. The other thing that I've noticed, and it might be just that 2020 is different than previous years just because of the dynamics of the pandemic and most of us being home and not really knowing what's going on with holidays. We didn't really slow down, right? I'm always expecting this massive shutdown or the slowdown. We're in an election year. We're in a pandemic. It's holiday season right now. And normally we'd be doing fewer deals, but that's not the case. This November has been ridiculously busy. We're on path to do just as well this month as we did last. And so I don't know. I mean, we're continuing to strive. We're continuing to go. One of our, I want to put in one more date here. One of our highest sale dates year after year after year after year after year. Guess what day of the year it is? Guess what day of the year we've made more money than most other days? And it's funny that I actually can tell you what day of the year it is. December 26th.
No freaking way, dude.
We make more money on December 26th most years than we do on other days because we typically can sell 10 houses on that one day. Because people are just so ready. They're so ready to go. They're so ready to buy. They're so ready to look at deals. They want to get out of, they've been stuck at home. They've been doing the whole, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It's December 26th is always one of our busiest days of the year. Wow. Everybody at Keegley goes to work on the 26th, and we sell buku houses that day. It's crazy.
That's so interesting. TTP, what are your thoughts on this? Listen.
This is the most fun business of all time. What are we talking about? It's like Christmas come on. Like to push it through the holidays means what? You pick up the phone and you make the 5 calls you were supposed to make, you know what I mean? Or you pick up the phone, you're calling people and getting new leads coming in. This is the greatest business. You should be having fun. It should be a lot of fun. And listen, maybe there's not a lot of family around this year, or maybe, your family's going to find their way anyway. It's a beautiful excuse. It's a beautiful excuse to get a morning or an afternoon off to go work on your business, right? To kind of get a little space from the crazy family. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I'm telling you, it's an incredible business. If you're looking at holidays, if you're looking at time off, that's the programming. It's the programming again. I'm telling you, it's just the programming. Just have fun with it. And a lot of people have an advantage. Maybe some people are working and they get a couple weeks off, or they get a week off, and you can actually focus on your efforts in this business. So I think that it's exciting. I mean, nothing is better, Jamil, right, than getting a big paycheck on the 26th.
It's amazing.
Come on, bro.
I'm always running around half drunk off Kahlua and coffee, and I'm just like a little baby at because I'm usually with family, you know, and I'm still in my Christmas pajamas, and I'm running around, hopped off on Kahlua and coffee and toffees and Ferrero Rochers and croissants, and I'm gonna make $100,000.
Yeah,
make $100,000 on that day.
And you're in your mind, you're like, "This is the greatest life ever. What is
Amazing.
going on? This is the greatest life.
Amazing.
This is the greatest life."
I've got just stains all over all my shit. It's great. Great.
So, guys, I want to give a shout out to Maurice Grant real quick. Maurice Grant at a New Jersey, New York area is a sub-2 student. He made a comment earlier in the live about how he wouldn't have gotten started in wholesale or be where he's at without Earon Bevans. So what's interesting about that is I am currently, check this out. I want to do a little screen share for you, Maurice, because you don't know this yet, but I have a deal right now that I just had one of your sellers send me, seller finance in Atlanta, $1.1 million that they are seller financing to me. And it came from 4 months of you following up with the seller, and ultimately I'm the buyer on the deal. So I'm buying it to turn into an Airbnb, but Maurice Grant gets started because of Earon Bevans. He learns creative finance, stays watching Wholesale Hotline. Here we are, fourth quarter. One of the best deals that you'll do all year long was because you continually followed up and went hard in the paint. So shout out Maurice Grant. I want to show you the contract that came in the mail from not from the mail, but in my mail. But because I'm streaming, it will slow my computer down. So screw that. But
yeah.
Maurice Grant, congrats, bro. Super amazing to watch you work. And he was making comments about how watching these lives has helped him get out of the mud, and watching us talk about inspiration and what keeps us going has kept him going as well. So shout out Maurice Grant.
That's awesome. And I want to throw out there that there's implications too. All this conversation we're having about going hard in the paint fourth quarter, there's implications even beyond fourth quarter. And I think you kind of touched on this, Pace, and I think this is super important for a lot of entrepreneurs to hear, that if you go that hard in fourth quarter, most of your competition in your market, they are right now, they're resting, they're taking time off. Halloween, they drink probably every other week, getting super inebriated, right? Their body is super toxic. I'm not judging anybody, do what you want, but their body's completely toxic. Then they go into November and they're already eating all this stuff. They're spending a crap ton of money. Then December comes around, they're stressed out, they're paying all these things. They're not making any money because it's slow in fourth quarter. Now they're restarting their business in first quarter. Meanwhile, if you go hard in the paint fourth quarter, twice as hard, you made a crap ton of money. Now you're starting first quarter with so much momentum. So now while everybody else is starting from scratch and trying to build momentum, you have momentum that's thrusting you into the forefront. I mean, you're pioneering the way ahead of all of your competition. And now you're second, third, and fourth, and now you're just creating this beautiful cycle. So I think there's implications even beyond just going hard in fourth quarter that a lot of times we don't think about, you know.
Love that. Hey, guys, check this out.
You got it?
Let me add this screen share to the stream real quick.
Can
you guys see this? Just got this sent over to me from Maurice Grant, the attorney Arthur Meadows, on a deal in Atlanta from months and months of follow-up. So, bro, congratulations. This is a big deal. It's $1 million plus acquisition for my team, and Airbnb that will cash flow $3,000+ per month. That came from your follow-up. So that's seller finance, guys. That's the power of working out deals. This is a lady that couldn't figure out how to sell this property, but she needed a specific number. She's 73 years old. She needed a specific number for retirement, and she couldn't let go of this number because that's everything she had to retire and live the rest of her days. The only solution for her was for Maurice to actually work out a seller finance deal. So check that out. We bought this deal. Zero credit. No loans, no nothing, all through seller finance that will cash flow $36,000 a year on one deal because Maurice Grant did the follow-up. Bro, congratulations.
Can you break it down a little bit more, Pace? What is this like a multifamily? Is this a single family? What is this?
It's a single family home with a guest house in the back. And so you can Airbnb both of the properties simultaneously.
Wow.
And it's in good shape?
And
It's
what kind of,
if you saw, it's phenomenal shape. It's one of the nicest areas in Atlanta where like NBA stars and stuff live.
is it in Buckhead?
It's downtown, really old. It's an older community. It's one of those communities like Arcadia where they're just going through and tearing down homes and rebuilding them. So it's a very charming, gorgeous home. 1.1 million is what we bought it for, seller finance. So the seller gave us, sold it to us without any credit, without anything. And the house in its current condition is worth $1.3 million. But really, equity is not what I was fighting for, right? The ability to cash flow without any credit, without any of my own cash, $36,000 a year for the rest of my life. I'll be able to cash flow on that one property.
There you go.
Hey, I got a bell rung for me today.
You sure did.
Everybody's calling for it, Pace. I was waiting for them to call it out. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, so that's a deal that will bring in. So my underlying payment, so my payment to the seller is $3,800 a month. My ability to Airbnb that is close to $9,000 a month. So after my expenses, after my lender gets paid, because I raised private capital for that deal, so I don't have to have any of my own money tied up. After my Airbnb manager, I have a guy named Noah Hoffman that manages my Airbnbs. After utilities and all that kind of stuff, the net cash flow on that deal is $36,000 a year. And
just so that we can pull it up on Google Maps, that one's at 1212 Banana Street. Is that right?
1212 Banana Street. Yeah, it's actually 75. It's 75 East Maddox in Atlanta. For anybody who wants to pull it up.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Hashtag we really do this, right, Earon?
Hashtag we really do this. Yiddy. Right.
So guys, that's the power of this business. And I'm so lucky. Just, I know we've only got about 10 more minutes, but I just want to be it's Thanksgiving week. And I just want to express my gratitude to the two men that have changed my life the most in the last couple of years, Mr. Brent Daniels and Jamil Damji, who, when you seek out these men's help, they don't just help you, they change your life. And I can see when I was watching Earon Bevans on stage, I was leaning over to people saying, this dude is going to be the new Les Brown. This dude is going to be the new Eric Thomas. This dude is going to be the next Tony Robbins. Bro, I was moved by what you're doing, and I'm super thankful that you let us come and witness what you're building out there in San Antonio.
Thank you, man. Thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate it. I really appreciate that.
Brother, you really are an inspiring guy. Pace, real quick, and you two might know this because it's your part of your crew. How did Maurice do on that deal? How does that look for Maurice on in that one?
So here's the power of a mentorship. I want to be really clear. Maurice actually did not do a good job structuring this deal with the seller. I had to get involved, and I told the seller flat out. I said, Maurice, I recorded this conversation to share with my sub-2 students. Is I got on the phone with Jillian and I said, Jillian, this is a horrible deal that you and Maurice structured. I don't know why anybody would buy this. This is a bad deal for everybody. And so that's the power of having a mentorship, is that I came back in and restructured the deal from it basically would have been an interest only payment to the seller for 3 years. I got rid of all of that, changed it to a 3% amortized loan. So it's basically $1 million being fine. Bro, you can't go out and get $1 million loan right now for 3%. That's a jumbo loan. Yeah. You're talking 5-6% on that bad boy. So I went back in, restructured it, and I don't know how much Maurice will make yet. Him and I have to work that out, but he'll make good money on that deal.
Love it.
Earon Bevans literally changed my life in 2020. Real talk. Check this out.
Wow. What's up, Angie? That's my girl, yo. St. Louis in the building. St. Louis. Ask her tattooist.
What is what's the trophy you got there, Earon?
This was given to me. This was my first 6-figure month. This was given to me by a local real estate investor. And this was really important. The investor understood how important this was to me because from when I started wholesaling, I'm huge on writing goals down. I'm huge on write those freaking bad boys down. If you don't have them written down, you don't really care about these things that you're saying. In my opinion, that's just my philosophy. And so the first goal that we wrote down was having a first 6-figure month. It's one of the reasons why I saved up my personal money to go into the to get the TTP course, because once I got the TTP course, I think it was 3 months later we hit our first 6-figure month. But this was just our first goal, and I was just so loud about it. Like we did it, we hit our first 6-figure month, and I had the hugs, and I was just like throwing it, you know, and I was so emotional because and you know, you want to know the crazy thing? I made this. I think we talked. I don't know if I mentioned this on the TTP podcast, but I made the $100,000 in that month, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I didn't give a crap about the money, man. It was not about the. In fact, I got depressed thinking about the money. It was like, well, dang, I already got it. It was the replaying in my mind the past 7 months of I'm gonna hit this goal, and I'm yelling it out loud when I'm driving on the way to the appointment. You know, I'm gonna get a 6-figure month. We're gonna do a 6-figure month, and then we're gonna be with the big boys. And so that's what this is. In fact, I create a theme for every year. 2020 is the year of urgency. This was, I mean, and we named I always name the theme the last day of the year, and I go live. So 2019, that was the year of miracles. And Justice Cash Buyers, that's my company, and it was August 2019. Brent, I joined TTP a couple months before this.
Yep.
And this was the year of miracles, and so that's what this bad boy is here. 2020 is the year of urgency. So on all my hashtags, I always put more urgency. You know, 2020. So yeah, that's what this bad boy is. It's a constant reminder of we can do anything we set our mind to, and so that's why I have it on my desk. Plus, it just looks cool too.
I love that. And Brent, speaking of TTP, I see this banner, this ribbon going across the bottom of the screen. Tell me what that's about.
TTP, to say, well, I kind of talked about it a lot today, and you guys were there. Thank you so much again for popping in and answering some questions. But I want to say thank you to everybody that has DM'd me, shared their life, shared their story, watched the YouTube channel, listened to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, watched this, listen to this podcast. I want to say thank you. This year we went bananas with discounts for everything that we have. We've got the script training that teaches you exactly what to say and how to say it for $7. I don't even know. That's crazy. And then the training that we did that used to be $500 is $97. That's how to do your first wholesale deal. And then $1,000 off of the actual mentorship. So if money's ever been a problem or timing or anything, I want to remove that. Obviously, there still has to be an investment so that you get a return on an ROI on that. Because if you just get everything for free, nobody uses it. I've tried, trust me. But really excited about it. I want to share it with everybody. Go to TTP Black Friday. It's absolutely bananas. TTP Black Friday. What would you guys, Pace, this is interesting. So Earon said that he had like a theme or whatever for the year. What do you think yours would be? Like the title for the year, you know what I mean? Like 2020. I mean, obviously to me, it's like hotline. Hotline's coming to my mind, but I'm almost like running with like real dudes out there. Like you guys like really pushed it this year, like really pushed coaching to the next level with all the amount of Zoom calls and all the recordings and all the live broadcasts and all the just support and all the travel and all that. Like this year was the first, I was like, oh my guys, like I'm like running, like we're like some sort of like pack of wolves or something. I don't know, a pack of dogs, or I don't know, whatever. But that kind of comes to mind.
That's a great question. Here's my short answer for that. My 2020 can be summed up in one thing. It's Q4 of 2019. Q4 of 2019 is what made my 2020 what it was. And a big part of that was you flying me out to Florida with Tom Kroll, spending 3 days with me, pulling the curtains back and giving me the value and what I needed, which was also the value that sounds like Earon Bevans needed as well, which was, I'll break your neck if you don't go out and do this. People need your individual voice.
You got off the leash, bro. I think we clocked it. What is it? 12,000 hours of total live broadcasting this year.
Oh, probably, dude. I'm thinking about something crazy. Somebody called me the David Blaine of wholesale. I was like, what do you mean? And they go, you're like the guy that's always pulling off these crazy stunts.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
2021. I was thinking, like, what's a really good stunt to do? And Jamil and I had this conversation earlier in the year. We were like, a good stunt would be to have Jamil and I fly to like Atlanta or a city that Wholesale Hotline maybe selects, and you put Jamil on a random street corner and you put Pace on a random street corner with no cell phone, only $22 in our pocket to buy ramen and soda, and the first person that gets a deal wins a competition, right? Whoa. And then we give them money away for like charity or something like that. So it's just thinking, like, what other cool stunts can we do to grab people's attention, to let them know about the opportunity that we're Jamil said it. We're living in the best. Could you guys imagine? Is there anybody you look up to outside of wholesale? You're like, I want to do that. The answer for me is no. I don't know anybody in the world except for other real estate investors that have the job I want. We have already surmounted Mount Everest. We are here at the top of the mountain. And my job, this is what Brent told me in 2019. Your job is to yell down for the top of the mountaintop and let people know the path to get to the top as easy as possible. So, bro, my 2020 for me, quarter 2019, going hard in the paint, listening to things that Brent Daniels said, build the 2020 that I'm currently living right now.
20,000 hours of live streaming.
we barely even started, dude. We did the last one we did was 25 hours live. Me standing on my feet for 25 hours live, no drinking, no going to the bathroom, and standing on my feet for 25 hours. I was thinking about doing 31 hours for 31 days of December. So starting like on December 29th and going all the way till New Year's midnight, I'm thinking about going live for 31 hours, all about creative finance, and just having people ask me questions straight for 31 hours.
I think it's a great idea, and you have to do it.
I think I should do it.
Jeez.
I wonder if anybody would get any value out of that.
Come on, man.
But the thing is, like, Brent Daniels, watching what you've done, $97 for a get your first wholesale program.
Yeah, that's bananas. It's crazy. It really is. Crazy. It's 5 hours. It's 5 hours of like legit. It's
what happened is when you first launched that, you were charging $500 for it. And I remember the week after you launched it, people in the side chat were talking about, I got so much value out of that. I joined a $25,000 mentorship and I got more value out of Brent's $500 course than I did out of the 25 grand. So guys, Brent Daniels. This is not a contrived conversation. He pops it up on the screen and I'm like, what's this about? $97 for a get your first wholesale deal program. That's bananas, dude.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
I still have my notes from the first, when I first joined the TTP group. I have my notes right here. If you can see it. So look, here's actual proof. Here's tangible proof right here. Here's my first 6-figure month. It's engraved August 2019. Look at this. It says right here, June 24, 2019. I don't know. Oh man, you can barely see it. And these are the notes from the first thing that Brent said. Number one, save
my
Brent's
number.
Save my number. That's it.
These are all of my notes from that freaking conversation. 2 months later, not even 2 months later, I hit my first 6-figure month, and I paid full price. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little salty that the new guys get to get it for so cheap, man.
Well, the mentorship's different. The mentorship is $1,000 off, but yeah. Anyway,
Love that.
wrap
It's
it
the
up.
real deal, Holyfield.
Before we sign out tonight, we got near 400 people here live, and thousands will watch it over the week. I want to just express how grateful we are for you, Earon. Young guys like yourself that are more interested in entrepreneurship, business, expansion, growth, and being productive, amazing human beings. And I mean, how old are you, bro?
I just turned 30.
Just turned 30.
Yep.
I mean, I again, in my 20s, I was a total piece of crap, right? And so I look at guys like you, and I'm really inspired to see how young success is, how young success can get, and how amazing it is to watch people get inspired at really young ages to get out there and take control of their destinies and get out of the mental prison that Brent was talking about, because it's a prison. Yep. It's a prison when we live in poverty, and it's a mental prison that we can absolutely break out of. For everyone that gained an immense amount of value from Earon and are grateful for him and the community that he's built, do us a favor, guys, and like that, smash that like button on the YouTube pages. Share this on your Facebook pages if you're watching it on Facebook. Snap a photo of you watching this. Tag Earon, Brent, and myself on Instagram. Let Earon know just how much you love him, and let him know that you appreciate him. And I just really enjoyed having you on this night. Again, thank you so much for letting us come out to San Antonio, bro. It was the first time I ever got an opportunity to not talk about real estate, to just dive into mindset stuff. And I geek out on that. It's one of my passions, and I appreciate that opportunity, brother. It was big for me. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. It's an honor. It's an absolute honor.
Brent Daniels, you want to take us home?
Yeah, Earon, thank you so much. Everybody in San Antonio, make sure that you get into this man's world and around the country as he's sharing his superhuman message and philosophy of making money with people, not on preying on them. And I think that is so critical, and we can change the industry by squatting up. And remember, listen, here's the deal. Right? Really take inventory and determine who are going to be your personal board of directors. Who are people that are around you, that are going to push you, that are going to be like really, really, really encouraging, but also really, really, really keeping you accountable. Who are those board of directors? Because you are a company. You are you, the efforts that you do, the things that go through your brain, these are all things that can produce income. You are a company. Find your board of directors. Find it by being loud. I give you all permission to be as loud as possible, because life is so much better when you are loud and people know what you're doing and people gravitate towards you. It's like a magnet. So I love you guys all. Pace, Jamil, love you guys. You guys are the absolute best. This year has been fantastic. I'm very thankful. It's Thanksgiving week. Very thankful for both of you guys. Earon, I'm very, very, very thankful for all that you do out there. You're on a rocket ship, brother. Keep going. And yeah, I love everybody watching. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Follow Earon Bevans. Earon, where's the best place for people to follow you? It seems like more than half of our audience is already following you. But today we hit about 400 live viewers on average. Tell the other 200 people that are not already fanboys of Earon Bevans where to find you.
Earon Bevans, EARON. Bevans, BEVANS, at Earon Bevans on IG, or come to the Super Human Wholesalers Facebook group. We're always giving away a bunch of free content and encouraging people. We go live, we close deals, and all sorts of fun, crazy, goofy stuff on our Facebook group.
Thank you, brother. Everybody have a great night. Have a safe Thanksgiving. We will see you next Monday on Wholesale Hotline. If you are interested in the warm-up show, we will be doing another warm-up show next Monday, 4:30 p.m. Arizona time, talking about virtually doing deals, driving for dollars. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much.
Love it.